I think in this cycle, I'm looking at a peak of about $200 to $300,000.
Whoa,
And
$200 to $300,000.
yes, 10x from now. That's the peak. Could be in next year, 2021, end of 2021, mid 2022. Less than 2 years for sure.
Hey everyone, so today I'm so pumped, so excited to be here with you. Shaqir Hussyin, founder of Founds.com, and I have I call him Mr. X to give you guys some good anticipation. If you're watching this, you're probably someone who's been in my sphere of influence, a client, personal, family, friend, member, someone who I want to help you get to the next level. And so today I have Ankur here with me. We're here in Dubai at the Ritz-Carlton. It's right now, it is November 2020. And about 3-4 years ago, let me start at the beginning. For the last 10 years, I've been doing internet marketing, teaching people how to start businesses online, scale it, etc., etc. I think 7 years ago, 2013, I met Ankur. He became a client, a student, and we just hit it off. We became friends. And during that time, basically, I helped him build a multi-million-dollar business. He was part of the Chic Mastermind program. And now he's kind of evolved to the stage of entrepreneur / investor. And what's really cool about Ankur is very humble, so he won't tell you about this, but I'm going to say, because he doesn't need the fame or he doesn't need more followers, if you know what I mean. He's done real estate investing, crypto investing, a whole bunch of stuff, but what he really helped me get into was crypto, especially Bitcoin and the alternative asset classes within crypto. So I wanted to do something where I just ask him a whole series of questions for myself, for my family members. And before I do that, Ankur, you excited for this?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right.
Always
So
good to see you, bro.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking this time out as well. I do want to say this as well. Nothing that I say or Ankur says is financial advice, which is, investment advice. We are literally having conversations with two friends that's known each other. And if you're watching this, you're probably one of our private clients or friends and family members. And so do your own research. Don't ever invest more than you can afford to lose. Yada, yada, yada. All the legal disclaimers. Okay, this is not a guarantee of income for anyone. This is just a conversation. So with that being said, all that mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's get straight into it. Uncle, you got me. Well, you told me about Bitcoin when it was probably $300-400. Okay, and I would travel to Singapore, and you would travel.
Yeah.
Because we're both world travelers, and you would always say to me, "Get into this, get into this." And I used to say, "I don't know, maybe it's haram." Which basically means it's not for Muslims to invest, or I'd say maybe it's got interest and I don't deal with interest, or something along the lines. And you like, I'm very grateful because you always mentioned it to me. I don't know if you remember, but we would always be in different countries, and you'd always say, "So when are you buying Bitcoin?" And I used to think to myself, "Man, why is he always talking about Bitcoin?" And I remember I think we met in Singapore, and it was around 300 to 500 ish. And then I was with my friend Ray, and we went to Costa Rica, and it shot to 1,000.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like Uncle just told me about this thing." And then from 1,000, it went to 2,000 or 3,000 and then I met you again, and I'm like, "Yo, you just told me to buy this thing, and it's going." And that's when I started buying.
Yeah.
Around the 3K level. And then I told all my friends and family, get involved, do your own research, but get involved in this. Obviously, I saw you make a huge amount of money in this game. At the peak, your portfolio was over 8 figures. And so where I'm going with all of this is, and some of these questions, by the way, just so you know, it's purely selfish for me, okay? How did you first get into it?
Good question. So, we both come from the IM space, BizOps space, and stuff like that. And I also used to have a huge network in the offline MLM business opportunity space. So I remember late 2015, early 2016, I was seeing these BizOps offers. I won't mention the name of the companies, but we're talking about crypto and new financial currency, and the name Bitcoin kept on popping, but no one really sat down with me to explain anything. Then I was on a flight, I still remember, from Bangkok to LA. So it was a long, long flight, whatever, 20 hours or something, and on the airport. So there was a book in the bookstore by the name Cryptocurrency. I was like, okay, I have a long flight. Let me just buy the book and go through everything. So that's where it started. So then I actually sat down and I finished that book in one sitting, whatever time it took, 8, 10 hours. And that was it, man. I was convinced by the time I was done reading the book, Cryptocurrency, that like I was able to understand what really Bitcoin is. I think all your viewers, listeners, I don't know what level of crypto experience they have.
Yeah.
But once they really understand what Bitcoin is, not really too much from the technology perspective, you don't need to understand how exactly blockchain works, but you get the purpose. It's a no-brainer.
Can you explain? Let's just say my dad, he's in his
Mm-hmm.
he's 54 now. God
Mm-hmm.
bless him. Okay, if you were explaining Bitcoin to my dad, how would you explain it?
So Bitcoin is like it's a decentralized currency. So when you look at US dollar, it's called a centralized currency or British pound or whatever, because the governments control it and they can print it and demand. Decentralized means no government, no country, not a single person controls it. So it's a piece of code which has a fixed number, which is 21 million. It's fixed, it cannot be edited, and they have a process called mining. So I always like to compare it with gold mining. So it's very easy for people to understand. So how do you get gold? Why is gold so valuable, right? $2,000, whatever it is at this point in time, is because gold is limited. At least we like to believe so. It's a God's currency, and there's a lot of effort involved to take out gold from the ground, and it has a cost, and it's limited. In a similar way, Bitcoin is limited on the internet, which can be audited by anybody. And there's an effort to get that Bitcoin out. So it's a decentralized ledger. All it is me transferring the number to you. Just it's an internal number, but that number, that transfer now gets verified by a lot of people around the world, which we like to call them miners. So in you go to a bank and there is an entry. Now we don't really use passbooks and all that. But in the old times, we'll go to the bank teller, we take money out from the ATM, we do a deposit. The banker will verify that. That was his job and make entries in your passbook. So that's called ledger, centralized ledger. So here the same thing happens, but it happens in a decentralized way. Decentralized ledger, the transaction gets verified by hundreds and thousands of people, so it cannot be wrong. A Bitcoin can never be double spent and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's in crux.
Yeah, no, I got it. I understand.
Key is it's a decentralized currency.
Decentralized currency, which is basically means that no one really. What does decentralized mean?
It means no one control it, no one can close it,
Yeah.
no one
So
owns
the
it.
government can't close it.
No.
The police can't close it.
No.
Okay, so who owns
The people, the users of Bitcoin own Bitcoin, basically.
on Bitcoin? And is there a way that someone can shut it down? Like, currencies collapse, like, different currencies all over the world collapse. Can Bitcoin ever collapse?
People have tried. So there's something called as 51% attack in crypto. That if a currency, it has happened with a few blockchains in the past. The blockchain gets attacked by hackers, 51%. They might kind of do some stuff, but nobody has been able to hack Bitcoin blockchain, and it's been 10 plus years. So it's pretty advanced. I think, like people say, I don't know the exact numbers, I'm not from that world, but just to make an attempt of hack, it's going to cost $1 billion plus. And that's just an attempt. So, it's almost impossible
No one's risking $1 billion to hack it.
to hack something. Yeah. Maybe more than a few billions.
When you first got into it, did you experience it? Like right now, one of the things that when I speak to my friends and family, they'll say, don't want to buy right now. We'll wait for it to pull back or we'll wait for it to go down, right? And obviously they're scared because they can buy, right now, at the time we just saw Bitcoin is at 19,800, okay? If it does take a huge pullback, did you experience these pullbacks when you were starting?
All the time. From 2000, so I bought my first Bitcoin at $400, around that was the price, 398 or something. And we rode it all the way up to $20,000. But it was not like a vertical, right? Like there was so many times when there was a 30 to 40% correction. So just to give you numbers, you bought a Bitcoin at $10,000. And in 7 days from then, it's only like $6,000. So that was very common. It happened like at least, if I could remember, about 6 times, a 40% correction from 2016 to 17.
How do you deal with your mindset in that when you see, oh my gosh?
So that time I used to go crazy. I used to do a lot of silly mistakes, lots of stuff. Now it's like in crypto, if I can use that word, you got to have balls of steel. So you mature over a period of time. And Basically, the key to play in crypto market is not to play with your bread and butter money. That's very important. So the money which you invest in crypto market, you got to it's kind of a casino money. At the end of the day, it's a big, large casino, but obviously, it's not a casino. It's just calculated gambling or investing, whatever you want to say it. I feel like in our parents' generation, the stock market was the biggest opportunity, right? Everybody, you had all these new things coming up, TV industry, radios, and whatever X, Y, Z,
Netflix and
Netflix. So our parents had an opportunity to buy. Imagine stocks of Netflix, Uber, like a lot
yeah.
of these companies that's so cheap and seeing their wealth do 100 times. I feel crypto is the future. It's the millennial stock market. And if you talk for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, where the real money is going to be made, it's going to be cryptos. So the number one rule of stock market investing is there are two kinds of traders. There are day traders and there are traders like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett never buys a stock to really sell. He just buys a stock to hold. So that's the thing in crypto. You need to buy to hold,
And
not to flip.
you've been holding since
2016, 5 years now.
wow.
It's been a long journey.
But the rewards are obviously
It's crazy. It's very good. It's very good.
right. Maybe tell us of just like one of your recent rewards that you done.
Okay. So, for example, 2019, I was just sitting with a friend of mine and we were just talking. It was happening in Dubai also. And he was talking about this coin called Link. And he explained me a little bit, and I kind of trusted his, you can say, research or advice or whatever. He was not a wealthy guy himself. He was not a big investor, but he was a little bit techie. So his knowledge in tech was good. So he was talking to me about the link. He explained me what it is and stuff like that. And I was able to get it in layman's world. It's the Zapier of the, in internet marketing, we have Zap, which is an amazing platform. We all use it in our day-to-day life to connect different services. That's what Link is. It connects, it makes one blockchain interact with another blockchain. So you got Bitcoin blockchain interacting with Ethereum blockchain, Ethereum blockchain interacting with Tron blockchain. So it's a very useful service. It's a Zap. So the tech-wise, it made a no-brainer, and then you start reading about it. You can see so many partnerships. I think one thing I realized with investing is when a lot of good people are investing into something, people who are more, let's say, wealthier than you or more intelligent than you, usually it's a good investment. We can go ahead with it.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of big investment groups. Some of the people I follow in Twitter on crypto niche investing into it. So yeah, I put in about 50K, and that turned out to be a 20x profit,
Wow.
almost a mil.
Almost a million. In that stage, do you take the $1 million out and go buy property, go buy more Bitcoin? You know, I know you don't go splash on fancy cars, but what do you do with that money?
So I've just been holding, to be honest. We made a lot of money in 2017, then we lost it all in 2018. We saw the market portfolios go 90% bust. And now I feel they're coming back again. Now we're at the bottom of the market.
With this specific one, right? And again, like whenever you're watching this video, link could be up or down, whatever. Do your own research on these
Absolutely.
things. But say for example, link gets to $1 million, and you just told me that you haven't sold any.
Not yet, yes.
So then what are you expecting it to do? Go even higher?
For example, so my target is $100 for the link.
And what is it at right now?
And it's about $15 right now. So 6x from now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when I will be starting to take an exit from the market.
Okay. You know, and one of the things, obviously, as a friend, you've been advising me as well. Because for me, I always look for people that are smarter than me, wealthier than me, or they've got more connections than me or something. So I can be always, I have this thing of, instead of me trying to figure things out, what if I just stand on the shoulders of giants that have been, because how I'm obsessed with internet marketing and funnels and all of this, I've seen you being obsessed in this marketplace. All of my other friends that meet you, and you met some of my friends here in Dubai, they all say, oh yeah, he's obsessed with it, right? But that's why you also do well. One thing that you've been teaching me is like, when you have these gains, how to take it out, right? Because I was like, Bitcoin gets to 250K, should I sell it then or not? And then you basically told me like, here's how you scale it, and then you take profits out. Can you kind of go through that again?
Sure. So in crypto, there are, let's just say, two kinds of coins: good coins and shit coins. Just like in any market, you have good stocks and bad stocks. Now, it doesn't mean you cannot make money on shit coins, because when the bull market happens, the shit coin they run faster than good coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff like that.
So
If
for what is it for
if
people
you
that don't
are,
know,
to
what
be
is a
honest, if
shit
you are
coin?
an investor with a long-term vision,
Yeah.
for example, I know people who have been holding Bitcoin now since 2012, and
Wow.
they have never ever sold a Bitcoin because in their mind they believe one Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million, which I think is possible in the next 5 years. Not a financial advice. So which I think is possible, right? $1 million. So these small dips or whatever is just it's nothing. It's just a dip. You just absorb it. You eat it.
Yeah.
Provided the coin which you are holding is the right coin and you have that kind of vision with it. You really understand the technology and you have that belief towards the coin. Now, if you don't have that belief and you're in the market for quick gains, I think it's always a good idea to cash out some profits. I mean, cashing out profits is never a bad idea.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'll admit I'm not the best one at it.
Yeah.
I'm very good in holding. I'm a very good holder. I don't let emotions eat me up. But at the same time, every investor has its weakness. I need to work on this weakness of mine.
Yeah, no, and this is one important thing because you said, the shit coins, which is, these are not altcoins, okay? These are just like maybe bad coins, right? So, can you tell me like 1 to 3 things we should watch out for when someone says, hey, this is a coin coming up? Like, I came here, and I said, yo, hook me up, like, right? And so, like, because I know you've been researching for the last few years and I want to get the top coins. So I'm like, obviously, you're my friend, and you're telling me, hey, XYZ. And you said these are good, and you explained why. But what if there was a bad coin? How do we identify? Oh, that's a bad coin. We should stay away from it.
That comes from a little bit from experience, a little bit from seeing what the community is saying, and also the use cases and stuff like that. So, for example, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin collapsed 85%. So, even this is very normal in crypto, a currency like Bitcoin, which is the alpha player, collapsed by 85%. It went from $20,000 to $3,000. 3,200 was the bottom of Bitcoin. So even Bitcoin collapses 85%. So there were so many coins which collapsed 99.9%, 99%. And today, no one is talking about those coins basically. So in the long term picture, that's one way to see which coins are good. And Bitcoin now is recovered at this point when we're shooting this video. It's what 19,400, 19,000. So it has reached its peak. Ethereum is almost half its way. It's about $700 and all. But a lot of coins of 2017, no one is talking about it. A lot of old coins, I remember. Red coin. There's just been so many coins, man.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, top 5 favorite coins.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, Uniswap. Fifth, tough choice. So many options are there. I'd probably go with Zcash.
Zcash?
It's a very good gamble on the privacy space. Yeah.
Zcash.
Zcash, yeah.
Okay. Someone has, again, this is not financial advice, but for friends and family, they got 100 grand cash. I literally have a friend here. I met him, and he said to me, he said, Shaq, I got 100 grand cash. What should I invest in?
I'll say 25,000 Bitcoin, 25,000 Ethereum, the rest 50,000 in the other 3 coins, which we just talked.
Would you put it in 3 coins, or would you split it on across 10, 20 different coins?
You can. It's just that it gets tougher to sell little when the coins start going up. One thing which I've realized, which has helped me recover a lot of my money in the last 1 or 2 years, is and a lot of people talk about this in the investing world who have been investing OGs or whatever, that you want to run with your winners the hardest. So now I have reached a point where instead of building small positions on a lot of different coins, because if you want to start investing, you can take $500 and invest in 1,000 coins. Now that is one strategy, but betting on few good coins and building big positions, personally for me, is I feel it's a better strategy than spreading your money around too much. Because the coins in which you're building big positions, first of all, you will not build a big position till the time you know that coin, you like it, you understand the tech, you have done your R&D and all. It just helps you hold longer also.
Yeah.
If the wave goes south, like no one knows. I mean, Bitcoin was $12,000 1 month back, and now it's $19,000. Maybe in a month from now, it's going back to $10,000. Only God knows what's happening, right? So in times like this, it's the conviction which stops you from selling. And when you know about a coin, it stops you from selling. So that kind of works. You want to ride your winners the hardest.
Obviously, your background, you came from internet marketing, being one of my, actually, my definitely one of my top two students.
Hmm.
Um, at what point did you say, hey, you know what, internet marketing is great? And I'm not saying that you should quit internet marketing. I haven't quit internet marketing.
No, I'm,
I
I'm
don't
still
plan
doing
to.
internet
I'm still
marketing.
doing it. But you took that break where you're like, okay, this is an amazing asset class. I need to put in a lot of time, effort. At what stage did you kind of transition into that?
So I think that was 2016. So yeah, 2016 when I read about Bitcoin. I've always had this challenge in my life. In IM space, BizOps space, it's very easy to make quick cash. The top guys know it, right? We know how to make quick cash. However, investing was not really my skill set, or let's just say, real estate investing was not my skill set because I'm a very lazy person. I hate paperwork. I hate responsibilities. Those kind of things. So I will not do research on properties and blah 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 blah. So at that, so basically till 2016, whatever money I made in my life, and that was a few millions of dollars, I just lost it all in real estate. So because I really did not have the time to research buying real estate in a way it should be done. So in that way, crypto now works better, I think, for our generation because we are techies, we are on the phone all day, and literally you can install an app on your phone, Coinbase, and just buy bitcoins and do nothing. There's no paperwork, there's no so I like that whole style of investing, and then it became easy for me. Okay, make money from IM space, BizOps space, and just all the money start buying crypto. I've been doing that for 4 or 5 years, and then obviously I transitioned into crypto BizOps space.
Which is, which is a whole nother different ballgame. What's just for fun? Where do you think Bitcoin's heading?
I think in this cycle, I'm looking at a peak of about 200 to $300,000,
Whoa, two
and
hundred to $300,000.
yes, 10x from now. That's the peak. That's the
Okay,
peak.
what? How much time frame?
Uh, could be in, next year, 2021, end of 2021, mid 2022, less than 2 years for sure.
What do you think is going to help trigger that next boom?
Oh, it's the institutional investors now. PayPal, the biggest story of the last 2 weeks back is PayPal has opened doors to buy Bitcoin to its 300 million customers. I think one of the guy was talking that like literally every single transaction, every single merchant on PayPal, 28 million merchants, they will be able to start accepting Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies for their goods. So that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's basically getting the whole world on crypto. So that's massive. And now I'm seeing some of the biggest banks of the world. We both have been in Singapore. We know DBS Bank is the largest bank of Singapore. They have started crypto custodial services. So it's already happening. Few banks in India have started doing it. US is already doing it in a big way. So you got all these banks getting into it. You see a lot of big players now changing their opinion about Bitcoin. Jamie Dean of whatever, or like yeah,
JP Morgan.
JP Morgan and so many. So everybody's changing their opinion now. So I think slowly, slowly the institutional FOMO has started, and this is where the real money is. So this is what's going to happen in this cycle.
Yeah, this is, one of the fascinating things I find is even people that don't have a huge amount of money, right? They don't maybe have $100K or $1 million, or even like $50,000, but they're just like, starting their business, or they're in a 9 to 5 job and they've got maybe 5 or 10 or 20K saved away, and they want to put it into crypto, right? And I'm not saying that you should, but I'm saying you could consider researching this, because I've seen even one of my best friends in London. He's been able to turn tiny sums of money into much larger chunks, and he's been taking profits. He bought a car, and he's just. And for the average person, I realized that this sort of opportunity, it's a once in a lifetime.
It is. It is. Yeah. I think after a few years, market will be very, very, very mature. By the time Bitcoin hits $300,000, you're looking at I don't know what's the trillion like. You're looking at a $5 trillion market cap.
And gold is at 7 to 8 trillion.
Yes, yes. However, what I find fascinating with cryptocurrencies is that there's always going to be an opportunity. Why? Because cryptocurrency is the way I look at crypto is the fastest way of entrepreneurship. There's zero paperwork involved. For you to launch your own coin on the internet, there's no paperwork needed. Unlike stocks. You want to take a company IPO, kind of legal framework you need to follow and adapt. It's good, it protects the investor, but at the same time, it kills the spirit of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs don't like paperwork, let's just say that, right? We hate lawyers, we hate all this kind of stuff. So crypto makes it a open field. Anybody from a village in India to a place in Bangladesh to Vietnam to US to, it doesn't matter where the person from is, come up with an idea, learn a little bit of coding, and launch his own coin, create a community around it, create use cases of the coin, and like look at what's happening in the DeFi space. This coin YFI, which is also one of the top picks, by the way. I forgot to mention. It's at about $26,000. It's more expensive than Bitcoin. The supply is only 35,000, so I wouldn't be surprised if it hits $1 million or something. And just some random guy, his name is Andy Kronjek, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, just came up with this thing, this idea of yield farming, which is basically getting, it's like in bank, we put our money and we try to put the money in a bank or a place where we can get maximum interest. So in a similar way in crypto, there were many places where you can lend your Bitcoin or Ethereum and get some profits. So all that farming does is it just tells you where to put your money in. Like this place is giving the maximum yield. Simple idea. He just created it, no paperwork, nothing. And now that coin has done over, I don't know, 1,000x, 10,000x or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's possible every day. So every day the fortunes are getting made in crypto by average people who no one knows. No one even knows that guy. He's still like a dummy Twitter handle.
Yeah.
There's like another Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah, one of the things I find fascinating, I spend a lot of time on Twitter myself. Who are the people that you've liked learning from on Twitter?
I have a lot. I've been following people from 2017. I don't know. I'll have to look into my phone. There's just too many. A few guys I like to follow. For the broader perspective is probably you also follow those guys, Nawal and
Nawal,
Chamaka. What's his name?
Chamat.
Chamat, and I follow Pomp. Pomp is very good.
Anthony Pomp. Yeah.
Amazing guy.
I like Anthony Pomp. And I want to put the links.
But they're more. Their advice is more on the mindset level. And yeah, you need to buy Bitcoin. I get it.
Yeah.
I need to buy Bitcoin. But if you want more day-to-day advice, like this is the hardest, and it actually helps because crypto Twitter is a place where most of the crypto enthusiasts hang, and then there are a lot of Telegram groups. That is something which, like your viewers will have to do their own research a little bit. Like just start typing Bitcoin, you'll start seeing people and stuff. But a lot of day-to-day advice you can get from crypto Twitter and YouTube videos also.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you go to YouTube and just type something related to crypto, Bitcoin, and you see the videos which come in the front, and then you go for videos which have a lot of views, and then you start subscribing to those channels, so you will see the guys who are getting a lot of views are posting a lot of videos, like every day a couple of videos, and they will talk a lot about altcoins and stuff like that. So by following 10, 20 good people on YouTube and then the same people on Twitter, you can get a lot of knowledge, like a lot of knowledge. It's the same thing we used to do back in IM. Yeah. If I have to become an email copywriter, I'll copy your emails, I'll copy whatever 10, 20, top internet marketers email, I'll take it and then I'll edit it as per my requirements and send it. So it was easy. It's just the same principles.
Yeah.
You follow the top guys.
Yeah, I like that. I also started, for me, I want to immerse myself, right? So I went to Dubai, I went to Amsterdam, to Bermuda, and I met Tika Tiwari. I met all of
You met Tika? Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I met so many of the top people in crypto. Because for me, I'm a very visual plus in-person learner, right? So I'm like, who's the smartest in the world? Who's like killing it? Okay, how do I go spend a bunch of money and go and meet them in person? And after seeing you and then doing my own research and then jumping onto a couple of different countries and then meeting people like Tika, I was like, okay, I'm in on this. Like they literally said like, you're not gonna see this. This is a once in a lifetime. It'll come just like how the foundation of the internet was built on.
Yes.
And the people that came in and invested in all of these companies.
The early investor in Google, Facebook.
Like they made a killing.
Yes.
And they said, that's your opportunity.
Exactly, man. Absolutely.
Nice. So, I don't have any more other questions other than what's your mindset towards this, right? Like, you wake up in the morning, is this what you do like 100% of the time, or like what's your mindset to doing it, and then to like on a day-to-day basis? Are you checking your phone like 10 times a day? Because my wife was telling me today, are you checking your phone? I said, you have no idea about Bitcoin today. And are you really fazed by if it's moving by $1,000 or $2,000?
So I'm not a day trader. I like to stay away from day trading, unless, and that's one advice I can give to people who are watching this, is unless and until you feel you're really passionate about it, you have some background in forex trading and stuff like that, then it's a different thing. Day trading in itself is a career. by any chance people think, you just think that Bitcoin will go 20% up and you will sell and then you will buy back when it goes down 20%. Trust me, it's not that easy. We have all tried it, and every time I try to do day trade, I always fail because the emotions take over. The key to this game is don't let the emotions take over. You got to fix your targets and then kind of stick with the targets. So no, I mean, yeah, I do check my portfolio, especially when the market is bullish. You see a lot of greens around, so it's just more exciting to like it puts a smile on your face
Yeah.
when you see your portfolio going up by 10-20% in a day. But that's about it. Even if it's going down, it's okay, no big deal.
Yeah.
Because we've been used to
Yeah.
it.
Now I want to thank you, man. You've really obviously helped me and helped some of my close friends and family. And if you're watching this, do your research around this asset class, around this, somewhat new industry. And if you have just joined me as a client and a customer, and you're watching this, and you're like, how do I get in to come and learn from myself and the team? I'm going to put links below. This is the kind of stuff that I usually like to discuss at my virtual events online or in-person events for members of Chic Mastermind. Okay, so that's SHIC Mastermind, Chic Mastermind. It's my private inner circle. Yeah, right now we've got spots open. I think I'm taking on 10 new private clients. If this kind of stuff resonates with you and you want to be 1, 2, 5, 10 steps ahead of the average person, you want to make sure that you are not just making money but protecting it, building it, multiplying it, right? Because a lot of the times what happens is when you start learning how to make money, it becomes somewhat very easy to make money, right? You can make 6 figures, 7 figures. It becomes easy. The hard thing about money is how do you protect it, and then how do you multiply it, right? Those are a few things that very few people have figured out, and very few people are even willing to teach you. So anyway, if this kind of stuff makes sense to you, make sure you check out chicmastermind.com. I'm taking on a handful of clients right now. Other than that, I really hope that you have enjoyed this. I would recommend watch it over and over again, and then go and explore the links that I'm going to put below this video. So Ankur,
Thanks,
thank you
buddy.
very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will catch up with you soon. Bye, everyone.